Throughout these years, we have performed multiple experiments to get free internet from the satellite. TLDR for you, or the folks among you who don't know how we performed the part 1 of this video. So what we did before, we hooked both the terminal of our ADSL to the LNB outputs in the hope that we will get something. But it was unsuccessful completely. You need a satellite modem to connect to a satellite dish. After 4 years of trial and error, no internet whatsoever. But this video has a huge support from my friends at Microsoft, and huge shout out to Innocent Luther from East Africa. We got the way how internet satellites can be achieved, and this video is kind of like a building block how you can get internet from the satellite. Before I say anything else, you cannot use ordinary satellite dish to get internet connectivity. You cannot use it anyway. It's our wrong assumption in the beginning of that experiment. But some of those ideas that we took was completely right. But when it comes to satellite internet or satellite internet connectivity, VSAT comes as the most common part. Very small aperture terminal, where in a TV, upstream and downstream doesn't actually work. In a satellite communication, both are being calculated as upstream and downstream as your internet download and upload speed. Where in the case of satellite TV, only downstream are being calculated, meaning data is only being received, not sent. And one of the most important component is a satellite modem to decode all of those signals that we get. And it looks something like this. Okay, before we begin further, we need an antenna with 1.2 meter in diameter. And secondly, Ku band mean the microwave frequency on which it should operate. C band is not actually usable because lightning and other thunderstorm can damage these frequencies, so we should remove this, is a better idea. Ku band is much better than that. We need 2 more things. In our previous case, we was actually having LNB, but we was not having a BUC. To install a VSAT, you will need the following. 2 things we have already discussed, but more in detail. A BUC is a block-up converting device. It will send all of those things that you already own on your internet after receiving from LNB, where LNB stands for low noise converging device. In our case, we was only having LNB, which is only capable of receiving datagrams. Since satellite communication has separate laws for it, VSAT is deployed on very remote areas like this and aren't available easily for everyone. They are only available where wired internet has separate disadvantages, like bank and private organization who have threat that wired connection can get hacked. There is nothing like free in the case of satellite discords. You have to buy separate subscriptions in the case of VSAT. So by now, a lot of you guys have already understood that getting internet from the satellite is far more difficult and devious process than it looks like. But this video doesn't actually end here. We have something really special for you. Our second attempt, one of the most biggest attempt to get free internet from the satellite. And that gave us a sunshine to get successful. So the method goes like this. Take a satellite dish, which is so big in diameter, a big one, and replace that LNB from the Wi-Fi receiving end. In this case, you will not catch a satellite from the space, or in another word, you will catch other public Wi-Fis that will fall on to that satellite dish. Bang! So as easy as it sounds like, it isn't. We need a public Wi-Fi that is so good, and even so good enough in transferring waves from 5 kilometers. So the nearest place to get free Wi-Fi is 5 kilometers. And we need to transfer it back into our PC. Our prototype was a huge success. We got the internet on the satellite dish. But there are big caveats on this process. Firstly, this Wi-Fi connection wasn't that powerful to be received on this one in long distances, let's suppose 25 kilometers. So for that, we went on that location and tried boosting that signal and directed that towards our satellite dish. But there are more big caveats to apply and boost that signal towards home location. So by now you understood what we are trying to do, and it is a huge success in this scenario. But apart from some basic experiment, we haven't tried it, like applying this dish on a cell tower to receive internet from here. Our small prototype, or the prototype that we made to make this model successful, was a huge success, but there was some major flaws on that Wi-Fi radiation drops down as we increases the frequency. So that is a big hurdle on that. And our second scenario was, apart from these bad news, that it is not illegal, you can use it. But some public Wi-Fi's are only limited to get access for a few hours or 15 to 20 minutes. So these are big hurdles to remove before we completely dive and put a satellite dish on a cell tower. Now, however, one person from Microsoft told us that it is possible, but not on the way that we are trying to get free internet from the satellite. He told us internet satellite or satellite communication is in another way, but the way he guided us, that these servers reflect off waste radiation, and these radiation can be used if a device is being attached just near to a server. That waste radiation can be usable once again, and we can get internet from that, but with low bandwidth. Okay, now I can totally understand what that person from Microsoft told us. Now look at that first. Non-ionizing radiation beyond this point RF field exists that exceed the rules for the human exposure. Beyond this point, let's go first in there. We have a lot of servers down here. Yeah. So if you look, these servers emit radiation while transferring data back and forth. They emit radiation one by one. And a lot of these radiation that my body absorbs aren't actually useful, and we can use that radiation in a form of getting internet. But that would be a waste radiation with low bandwidth. There is one more interesting thing to look at. Look at this Ethernet port. So I know a lot of you guys don't actually have access to this giant big server rooms, but that it is, if you look at these things, you can have a great experimentation. But this is only one part of the story. There is an app, a link in the down description, that can save approximately, if you have a gigabit internet, it can save 20% out of that. From 1 gigabit, you will get 20 megabytes saved. So that will approximately down the same thing. Now, since a lot of you guys are actually telling me that why do you need this much big machines if you can directly change the DNS ID from a mobile SIM card and directly change the DNS ID from that satellite communication even after applying a subscription. That is one part of the story. Another part, it is highly illegal in many countries, approximately in every country it is illegal to own and changing DNS ID, and definitely it's a fraud first, and we don't actually want it to get on that headache. But this is a great idea. Here you have servers. You don't actually need to touch any of these things. You just need to get these internet radiations, and then that device will actually convert everything for you. So you got the free internet, but with that device, that is actually another situation to get a new technology and new experimentation with a new video. Yes, I know intimidating WPS and brutal force and get the access to any one of your friends or neighbors' Wi-Fi is the best way to get free internet, but all it boils it down to illegal norms and restrictions. We don't want anything like that. So our attempt to get free internet of satellite actually gave us a new idea to get energies from these server machines. And some more logical scenarios. Yeah, you guys come along with the ride actually. We have a lot of things for you guys right now. Okay, if a lot of you guys can actually remember, I'll on the flashlight to get much better view right now, because this is the same scenario that happened with us last time. It's approximately 4 years back. We was actually experimenting down on the terrace, and you guys can actually see that scenario approximately 4 years back. It's the flashlight of my phone, and sky has completely dark right now. And the thing is that we tried experimenting and tried a lot more way in past 4 years to get free internet from satellite. Yeah, I remarked the word experiment because it is literally an experiment. It can get successful, and it didn't on the other spectrum. So people actually don't want to understand the meaning of an experiment. We at least tried.
It always seems impossible until it's done. And as always, thanks for watching.
And one more thing to say, if you haven't watched our other videos, go check them out.